I think it's working. Didn't play the intro like I wanted it to. I'll have to fix that for next time. I think it's working. First time in a while. Just trying to get things all figured out. Didn't play the intro like I wanted it to. I'll have to fix that for next time. How that sounds. First time in a while. Just trying to get things all figured out. Alright, how's the audio coming through, guys? I haven't started the game yet, just making sure the audio's not going to be too overbearing. Alright, how's the audio coming through, guys? I haven't started the game yet, just making sure the audio's not going to be too overbearing. I think should be fine. Just rearrange a couple more things. Okay. Audio seems to be okay. Checking from my phone. If anything changes, if it starts getting a little too loud, just let me know and I'll try to fix that. Let's go ahead and get started. Sorry for the delay. You know, when you have a 8-month-old baby who refuses to go straight to his nap, you gotta feed him and change him and all that. It's it's fun. But finally got him to go down for his nap, and got his baby monitor on, so if you hear a baby crying, it's just my son waking up. With that said, let's go ahead and get started. I've never played this game, never heard of it until a friend of mine, Fiona Mon, mentioned it to me. She even, actually when she showed me the music that we've been using through some of our fanfiction dubs. Hey Seal, long time no talk. See, got a few people here. Let's go ahead and give this a try. I heard it, from what I know, this game is like is a dating sim. I have never it's yelling at me. A little loud on my end. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that down a lot. Oh, I did not mean to click through that. Oops. Oh, I'm sure I'll talk about more of it in the intro. But it's a dating sim. Never played a dating sim before. I've seen a few of them, mostly through Markiplier a few years ago. But this one has dragons in it, so I'm already liking it. It's being a bit generous. Well, like I said, I don't know much about it. Just that it has dragons. I play as a human. Guess I'll find out here in a minute. User profile not found. Well, yeah, I haven't played this before. I sure hope there hasn't Please enter my name. Oh, come on. One letter short. Yeah, screw it. Just Reich. Choose a color. Definitely red. Does this look right? Yep. Sounds very high-tech for a dragon-based game. Use left-click or enter to advance text and select menu options. Press space to advance text only. Okay. Okay. Hold control and press tab to skip scene messages. Oh, I can take screenshots. Interesting. That would be all. 20XX. Okay. Only recently has humanity discovered a portal that leads into a different world populated with a race of intelligent talking dragons. Lucky them. I was one of the few to travel to this world. But maybe I should start at the beginning. It all began when we discovered a strange device in the middle of nowhere during one of our expeditions. A portal. I had heard about similar technology before, though that had been more on an experimental level. From what I knew, other portals had been created in the past and were under construction for mass application. As for this one in particular, though, we did not know who had built it, nor when, or why we found it in the wilderness where we did. What was more exciting to us was the fact it was functional. So, Stonehenge? Is that what this could be? If only. After our first tests, we found that there was someone else on the other side who was in possession of a similar portal, and our attempts at communication through letters were successful. But in the end, the machine's extraordinary demand for power meant we needed to act quickly, as we wouldn't be able to keep the portal open much longer. When we made this known to the other side, we received a very unexpected reply, a letter of invitation. After some deliberation, it was decided to accept their hospitality and send a person to the other side. There was an individual who took the job almost immediately. Okay. Interesting art style. Reza, I cannot say that name. It is Quierdo. I apologize if I butchered that. I knew him, or rather had known him. We attended the same school back then, and even had a few classes together. We never really were very close friends, but we talked to each other occasionally, and hung around with the same crowd sometimes. However, we still went our separate ways in the end. I wasn't sure what to think about the whole thing, but he had to have known what he was doing. He certainly was brave. Either that, or just very, very foolish. I'm gonna go with foolish. While I wasn't sure which, his courage was applauded by others. After all, he couldn't possibly have known who or what would await him at the other end of the portal. And if he did meet someone there, who knew what kinds of intentions they might have? Not that any speculation on our part would have made a difference. Keep staring, Cronut. When the day finally came, through he went, with applause echoing across the area, equipped only with the clothes he wore, his multi-tool, a gun, and a device on his waist that acted as a PDA. Yes, I get it. New world, don't know what's going to be on the other end. Need some protection. Is this an American company, or... Then we waited. The crowd that was applauding him slowly dispersed when the enthusiasm died down, as there was nothing for us to do but wait and speculate. Approximately 8 hours later, we received our first message from him. While we had assumed the portal led to another in a different country, or maybe on a different continent, the reality turned out to be much more foreign. This guy's the bad guy, isn't he? The situation he described to us was so outlandish that we initially took it as a joke. A very bad joke, maybe, with even worse timing and no punchline at all. It soon became clear to us, though, that we may just have made one of the most important discoveries since the dawn of mankind. Finding the portal had been remarkable in itself, but this took it to a completely different level. From what he described about the place, or more accurately, its inhabitants, we surmised it could not be part of Earth at all. We called them dragons, because according to Reza, that's what they were, or at least what they resembled most. Even though we found it hard to believe, it had been these dragons who sent us all the letters, and what Reza found on the other side of the portal was a whole civilization of them. They could talk, write books, had buildings and electricity. In many ways, their society was actually very similar to our own. So who were they, and where was this place? Could they be aliens? Our speculations led us to conclude otherwise. After all, we knew about the existence of thousands of planets, millions of light years away, that may have been theoretically habitable, yet even then, we had never found a conclusive proof in regards to actual alien life forms. Some people brought up quantum mechanics and parallel universes, but in the end, all of this was just conjecture and an ultimately fruitless endeavor, since we neither had the means nor the resources to explore these possibilities in greater detail. I think there's just one more thing worth mentioning before I move on. The previous isolation had been mutual. They hadn't known about any other intelligent life form beyond their own. Their portal had only recently been discovered and was a technology previously unknown to them. And just as we had myths about dragons, they had myths about us. That was what we knew about them so far, and as interesting as learning those things and debating their cultural significance was, we didn't really know what we should make of it all. Reza apparently was sure of what he was doing, though, as he eventually let us know that they had agreed on a trade. We were to give them a few of our PDA devices, which contained vast amounts of knowledge, dwarfing even that of encyclopedias. In return, they would supply us with generators. Overall, they didn't seem as technologically advanced as we had been, but they did surpass us in that one aspect. Their means of generating energy seemed sustainable. Okay, I could use some sustainable energy, especially with these gas prices. Ugh. Not only that, but evidently also quite efficient. We certainly would be able to put technology like that to good use, and trading mere past knowledge of the human race for something more tangible was a good call on his part. This is a long intro. Okay, that's where I came in. My prior experience in both biology and sociology made me a good fit to deliver our PDA system for the trade. And while in the Dragons' world, waiting for the prototypes of our generators to be manufactured by them, I would act as an ambassador on humanity's behalf. What a way to make a first impression by a display of mutual goodwill. Everyone benefits, and everyone goes home happy. Until they don't. All is well. All is not well, I'm going to assume. At least that was the plan. Yep, there it is. Despite the images that living talking dragons might conjure up in some people's minds, I didn't even think of bringing a weapon myself. considering that they were reportedly friendly and peaceful enough. There was no need for me to fear potential ill intentions like Reza did when he had stepped into an unknown territory. In acting as humanity's ambassador, I had to do my best to uphold a high standard in fostering this diplomatic relationship. Am I done yet? When the time came for me to step through the portal, all my mental preparedness vanished. My anxiousness was fueled by the questions lurking in my head, just as the machine started to do its work. Would it hurt? Probably. Who would I meet on the other side? Dragons, I assume. What if they really weren't so friendly and just made Reza write those letters, with the pretense of appearing friendly, only to lure us into the den of man-eating monsters and certain doom, with us ending up as nothing more than a tasty afternoon snack? Maybe I should have brought a weapon after all. Suddenly I felt high pitch. Suddenly I felt a shiver coursing throughout my whole body and beyond when I disintegrated. That sounds painful. As if every cell, every atom of my body was torn from me and pulled into a different direction. Ugh. Sad part is that's probably what teleportation is going to be like someday, if we ever actually get it. I saw darkness and light, painting patterns in the stars as I traveled, and images rapidly flashed before me of things unseen and unspoken. Both horrifying and beautiful, it was an experience unlike any other, yet over in just a split second. Then it was dark. I could only see a patch of lighter color contrasting with its dark surroundings as my vision started to clear. Its edges got sharper as the patch of light slowly took shape, giving me the distinguished outline of a reptilian head and an array of horns spouting from it. I knew it. Politicians are lizards. They're lizard people. Hi. It was a dragon. And as I could now see, a dragon who not only had a pair of round glasses, but also wore a burgundy tie around its neck. Interesting choice of clothing. Doesn't really cover anything. Remy. In the name of our people, I bid you welcome. If I may introduce myself, I am Remy, your guide and ambassador, a representative of our council. The dragon spoke. It was one thing to have heard and read about this, but something else entirely to have one standing in front of me, in flesh and blood and tongue. It was good that all my mental preparedness had disappeared when I was teleported, because nothing could have prepared me for this. I'd be freaking out too. Sorry, I imagine you might still feel the effects of the teleportation. Drowsiness or weakness is not unusual, as is fainting and spontaneous emptying of your bowels, bladder, or stomach. Ugh. How do you feel? Rendered speechless, I had totally forgotten that I was shouldering the burden of representing my people to them as well. So much for being professional, but at least he gave me a good excuse for my blunder. Okay, so I'm guessing I did expel all that stuff. I think I'm alright. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Maybe we should go before it gets too dark. Come with me, please. Why can we do this during the day? I don't know. So I followed the dragon, not straying too far from him, as the sun had already departed for the day, and the remaining light diminished by the minute. It is getting hard to see where I'm going. Sorry about that, but we had a good reason to schedule your arrival like this. Oh, that's why it's not during the day. We did not want you to be ambushed by a crowd, so we had to keep your exact time and date of arrival secret. Thanks. I suppose an event like this would make me a celebrity of sorts. It would be the same if one of you came to us. That's quite an understatement. Some people here are rather superstitious. They might regard you or any of your kind as divine, I suppose. I am a god. Really? How so? We do have certain myths that involve humans and as such. Oh, I suppose the history lesson will have to wait for another time. Here we are. By this point, it had gotten so dark that I could barely make out the building before us. I can barely make that building out myself. I briefly wondered whether they might have streetlights elsewhere, or if they just did not require any due to possible enhanced eyesight or night vision. Pretty sure wizards have night vision. I could vaguely see the dragon, his light color still visible within the blackness that engulfed the area. Rear up and manipulate the door handle with one of his forepaws. Not reading that right for a second. Anyway. Interesting furniture. Huh. Hinges creaked, the door opened, and with the flick of a switch, the apartment was flooded with light, blinding me after all the time we had just spent without it. This is where you will live for the time being. It is fully stocked, but in case you need anything else, I left you a note with a few phone numbers. So call me maybe. No, I hate that song. It is getting rather late, so I will have to take my leave now. In any case, someone will come and meet you tomorrow morning. Oh, someone. Great. Thank you, Remy. Have a good night. Until we meet again. Okay. So far, just a lot of exposition, a lot of words. With a nod, Remy left the apartment, mindful enough to close the door behind himself. Were you expecting him to be, to leave it open? Whatever. Surveying the room, I considered the events that had just transpired as my gaze met the window. I could see movement outside, and as I drew nearer, startled, I could hear footsteps in the grass, moving away quickly. Assuming it must have been the dragon I just met, I thought nothing of it as I went to bed and slowly succumbed to the sweet allure of sleep overdue. Now, where I live, if there's somebody outside your window, you grab the shotgun. I spent a few moments thinking about my role, my mission, and what it meant to be here now. I felt the responsibility placed on my shoulders. I was eager for the adventure to come. Oh, these are options. I was wondering why it was different. I felt the responsibility. Now here I was, a stranger in a strange land. Isn't that a song? As I only began to feel the weight of the burden that lay upon me. The pressure of my task and the expectations I would have to meet in representing a species, culture, and civilization. So many would depend on it, yet I did not even know where the only human contact I currently had was. I was alone. What's this? Oh, Chapter 1, Inception. Never saw Inception. Heard it was okay. Very trippy. I awoke from uneasy dreams looking at an unfamiliar ceiling. Just for a moment, I wondered where I was before the events of last night all came back to me. After a good stretch, I looked around the room, illuminated by the sunlight coming in from the window. Outside, in the distance, the portal I had emerged from proudly stood on the peak of a small hill. Getting ready, I noticed something lying on the table. It was the notes Remy had left for me in case I needed anything, along with his own home phone and work phone. People have home phone numbers now? No, I don't have a home phone. There were also some numbers for delivery of food and other necessities, as well as emergency and even janitorial services. He had certainly thought of everything, even though I now had to wonder what a dragon plumber might look like. My musings were interrupted when the doorbell rang. When I opened the door, I was met by another dragon. Ooh, alright, who's this gonna be? Oh, hi. Sebastian. Hello, you must be Reich. I'm Sebastian, and I'll be your escort. Or it's a security, I suppose. Usually I would work for the police, though. Nice to meet you. Hey, I'm law enforcement, too. He seemed a lot smaller than Remy, and when he somewhat nervously extended his arm toward me, I noticed he apparently only walked on his hind legs, the two forelimbs instead having distinct arms, hands, and fingers. What? It's a little forward. Jeez. No, I'm gonna shake his hand. When I took his hand into mine to shake it gently, I could feel the individual bumps and scales on his rough skin. Nice to meet you too, Sebastian. So, where are you taking me? Straight to business, eh? We're going to visit the plants where they are making your generators. They have some news for you, or so I've heard. Reza will be there too. Sounds great. Just follow me. Very timid for a police officer. While we walked, I was under the impression we were purposely avoiding the barrier. Jeez, I cannot read right now. Busier parts of the town. Instead, straying toward the edges and small alleys as do not garner too much attention. Even then, we got the occasional stare. Can't imagine why. You're just a freaking human in a dragon world. After just a couple of minutes, we arrived at our destination, where we were met by Reza, as well as yet another dragon, a vicious-looking beast that didn't stay too close to him. Okay. Yeah, it looks cool. The dragon, that is. Reza, hey. Hey. Why are you looking at me like that? Reza, long time no see. How true that is. Good to finally see another human face around here. What a coincidence to have you, of all people, show up. Yeah, guess those degrees aren't so useless after all. By the way, who's your friend? Just my bodyguard, same as yours. Don't bother with him. He doesn't talk much. He looks grumpy, just like you, or I bet he'd win in a fight with mine, though. I don't want to be an ass. I don't want to be too much of an ass. That's what he always looks like. And yes, that does mean he's always grumpy. The two dragons exchanged a few words, and as I met the gaze of the larger, tenebrous dragon, a few paces from us, Sebastian turned toward me and spoke up again. Hey, Reich, this is Maverick. Nice to meet you. You better be a good flyer if you have that. Yeah, whatever. Just don't expect me to give you any special treatment like everyone else is, and we'll be good. What are you talking about? So you're saying you haven't noticed the stairs and how they all treat you like you're the next Messiah or something? Oh, so do they have a Dragon Jesus too? No, I just thought... We're not the ones making a big deal out of this. You are. We're just here to get what we agreed on, and then we'll be gone. If anything, I'd actually prefer if you left us alone, but you're the one who insists on following me around wherever I go. A growl escaped the darker dragon's trembling lips as he bared his teeth at Reza. That was weirdly descriptive. Alright, that's quite enough. Let's all go inside already, shall we? After you. Why does this look like it's from just any anime, any Japanese anime? Like, honestly, this looks like a hallway from My Hero Academia. The crisis was quickly averted as we entered the building, which was characterized by its many floors, high ceilings, and long, narrow hallways as Sebastian led us to our destination. Oh, whoops. Guessing... female? There you are. I was waiting for you. I higher pitched voices that well. Okay, another one on 2 legs. Wait a minute, I thought we were going to meet the guys from production. What are you doing here? They're only coming in later today, so you'll just have to make do with me. And she was watching. Goody. I see. Well, Reich, this is Anna. Okay, dude. She kind of manages this building, though actually she's more involved with the research wing rather than production and engineering. Nice to meet you. My pleasure. I have something for you, by the way. It'll take them a while to make all the generators we promised, but we've got one for you here. Feel free to send it home and give it a test. That's great. I'll take it. Kind of rushed in there. It's a little small if you ask me. Don't underestimate its power. Oh, and do be careful not to drop it. Sure. I'll be waiting outside while you do your thing, right? Okay, bye. I suppose I'll wait for you outside as well. Bye, Sebastian. What the? Oh, have you brought the PDA? Public display of affection? What? Of course. Here you go. Alright. Now to give this thing a test run. The PDA lit up as her hand swiftly moved around its interface in calculated motions. By the way, would you consider letting me run some tests on you as well? It would only take a drop of your blood. A little forward. What? Why? I work in biology, so obviously, this kind of thing would be very interesting to us. I'd share the results with you, of course. Better only be me. I don't want any HIPAA violations. I'm feeling generous. I have a lot of blood, and I can give some. Great. She was quick to produce a small device from a drawer, which from a glance reminded me a lot of a test tube. Now, if you give me your hand, please. Why are you blushing? As I reached out to her, she took my hand into hers before she pressed the device into the back of my hand. I winced as pain jolted through my hand. Something sharp drove its... You're just getting a freaking shot, dude, or a blood draw, dude. Don't have to be so dramatic. Thanks. You're welcome. Wait. You gave Anna your blood. Okay. Looks like your PDA is good, by the way, so we're just about done here. And since we're both in biology, it could be interesting if you want to meet me some other time as well. Here's my number. Alright. See you soon. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I said. Well, that was interesting. Did she ask you for your blood too? Yeah. Did you give it to her? I'm not gonna lie. Oh, well, it's your choice. We've got no idea what they might do with it, though. I'm getting hungry. How about some breakfast? I'm all for it. I can't stand early mornings like this. It looks like it's midday. That shouldn't be a problem. There's a cafe not far from here. What do you say, Mavers? I wouldn't mind to grab a bite myself. That settles it then. Oh, hey, Fia. Luckily for us, the cafe was mostly empty when we arrived, as it was still pretty early in the day. Reza was quick to lead me to a table or two, prompting the dragons to get one of their own at the other side of the restaurant. Ugh, finally, I can't stand that guy being on my tail all the time. You don't have a tail. Yet? Is he gonna have a tail later? Oh. Let's see. It's for our own security. It does seem rather strange that they need someone following us everywhere. Maybe he just likes you a lot. Yeah, I'm going with that. We were approached by an individual who appeared to be the waitress of the cafe. She was an interesting looking dragon who, unlike the others I had seen so far, was more akin to a wyvern. Thank you. Why can't... Everybody calls them dragons, they're wyverns. possessing two rather large wings as her forelimbs, which resembled those of an oversized bat. Oh, it's the humans! You were able to correctly identify our species based on what we look like. Congratulations. That sounds like a pretty... Jeez. Sounds very, asshole-ish. Wait, where? Oh, it's a dragon. Jeez. Huh. I'm gonna go with... Oh, it's a dragon. That's a good one. Yeah, okay. Welcome to our establishment. My name's Adine. Adine? I'm going with Adine. And I'll be your waitress today. What can I bring you to? An interesting look for a waitress. Oh yeah, I'm going with some scrambled eggs and bacon. Always a good choice. Yeah, me too. Just make it quick. I take it you like Adine and Anna. Sure thing. 2 scrambled eggs. Only 2? I'm a big guy. I need more. As I was saying, if you look at the big picture, don't you think there's just something off about this whole place? Where is it, really? Well, of course there's something off. They're dragons. If this is supposed to be a completely separate place from Earth or even a different dimension, some things just don't add up. Don't you think so, too? Let me just grab my tinfoil hat real quick. Yeah, I've noticed that too. I can't really say much more with you-know-who over there. He's probably listening to us right now. No, I'm not. Yeah, he's a charming fellow. He doesn't seem so bad to me. What a creep. When I let my gaze wander, I saw that Maverick was looking in my direction. Our eyes met briefly, his expression not showing any discernible emotion. While I wondered whether it had been just been coincidence or if he really was able to hear us from that distance. I do have some theories, and if I'm right, we might be in trouble. Oh, good. I was worried we weren't going to have a conflict. What kind of trouble? What are you talking about? Shh, be quiet. I'll let you know more as soon as I can. But for now, let's just play along. After all, we already have one of these babies. He patted the generator's box for emphasis. God knows we need them. Oh, there she comes. So we are Americans. We're just going into another place, taking the energy, and going home. Hopefully that's all we do. The female returned, astounding me with her ability to balance the dishes on the edges of her wings. She placed her forelimb on the table and proceeded to move the dishes from her wing to us with a gentle push of her snout. I think, I hope she cleaned her snout. There you go. There you go. Enjoy. Now shoes skate. Wow. Jeez, you can really be an asshole in this. I'm not gonna go that route. I'm gonna be polite. You're welcome. Okay, bye. I was wondering what kind of breakfast could be had in a place like this, but I was pleasantly surprised to find it quite as I was used to. The only real difference was that they apparently didn't use cutlery. You can imagine why. When the waitress brought out meals to the 2 dragons across the cafe and exchanged a few words with them, Reza leaned forward and whispered something to me. I'll send you a letter with a coded message later. You'll know what to do. Oh, do I? Reza rose from his seat before he made it known to me that he still had a few things to do, and left the restaurant, followed shortly after by the larger of the 2 dragons. Please let me eat my meal. Laters. Yeah, because that's definitely something I would say. I wasn't in a hurry, so I spent a few more minutes in contemplation while I looked out the window and finished my breakfast. Not that this whole situation was already bizarre enough, There was also now the vague sense of danger conveyed by Reza's earlier words. I did not even have an idea of what kind of threat might be lurking out there. Yeah, I'm not gonna be mean. I'm gonna go down the nice path. Eventually, I got up, ready to be on my way for whatever else the day might bring. Are you done? Sure am. How'd you like it? It was alright. Glad you enjoyed it. Just wait outside and I'll handle the rest here. Sure thing. I can't quite pick a voice for Sebastian, but we'll see. I stepped outside, taking in the scenery of this strangely familiar world. In the short time... Ooh, I love this song. In the short time I was here, I had already found the similarities between their world and our own utterly fascinating. After all, we were talking about an unmapped place with a never-before-seen form of life. As far as discoveries were concerned, even something as simple as a new unicellular organism, those were words, or even bacteria would have been remarkable. Yet here I was, standing in the middle of a village evidently built by this race of intelligent talking dragons, with a society not unlike our own. Reza didn't seem to share the same interest, and instead was more smitten with the generator. But given our reasons for coming here in the first place, I couldn't blame him for his enthusiasm being focused on something else. My thoughts were interrupted as something suddenly zipped past me, just a little too close, causing me to stumble back. It was a rather small dragon with a bag clamped in its maw, who apparently had somewhere to be. Ah, it's a pink one. That's a good color combination there. I regained my footing and watched as it disappeared into the distance. Even though I'd seen enough dragons to recognize their variations in size, color, and other attributes, I guessed this one must have been a juvenile of its species. Shortly afterwards, Sebastian joined me outside, having taken care of the tab. I gave her a generous tip on your behalf. I hope you don't mind. How nice of you, yes. As long as I don't have to pay. Jeez. Still surprises me how much of an ass you can be. In any case, now that you've given us the PDA and Reza has the generator, you're free for today. So if you want to go anywhere in particular, let me know, or I could show you around town. I was tempted to be given a tour, but considering Reza's words, I wanted to be careful and not stray too far without knowing more about this world first. I think I'll stay home for today. I still have to get used to everything, you know? I'll just accompany you back then. This music's pretty good. There we are. Home sweet home. For now, at least. Well, if you need anything, I'll be outside until my shift ends. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. See you tomorrow. See ya. I hadn't really looked at the apartment much, so I spent the rest of the day investigating it and relaxing. I considered checking out some of the phone numbers Remy had left me, but I thought it was better to keep a low profile for now. I found the kitchen fully stocked with plenty of groceries, though the variety was wasted on me. I hadn't been a particularly great cook, that's wrong about I'm a decent cook, if you ask my wife, in the first place. But what was more, I didn't even recognize some of the things I found there. Whether they were edibles what edibles are we talking about? That we had back home that I just didn't know about, or something completely alien. Well, you are on a different planet, plane of existence, whatever. I wasn't sure, but I didn't want to take the risk of eating anything I didn't know. After all, it was possible that some of the comestibles, I don't know that word, might be fine for them to eat, but still be poisonous to us. I was also glad to find a shelf that was filled to the brim with a variety of books. Nerd. Just kidding, I like reading too. While I found the subject matter of man, myth, or reality to be quite intriguing, I had to give up after just a few pages due to exceptionally dry writing style, which I wasn't inclined to enjoy at the moment. In the end, I settled for an adventure novel about a dragon archaeologist who stumbles upon the remains of a long-lost human civilization, after which she is hunted by an evil organization who wants to use the found magical artifacts for its own nefarious purposes. That's Indiana Jones 4. I wouldn't exactly call that a good one. While entertaining, I had to admit that it reminded me a little too much of the trashy novels we had at home. Okay, yeah, fairly accurate. I certainly found it amusing that certain tropes were not really unique to us as a species, though I wondered whether this kind of literature had fallen into disfavor here as it had back where I had come from. I was reading a particularly exciting scene in which the hero, Sheridan, uses one of the magical artifacts shaped like a pair of human hands holding a scepter with a globe at the top to prevent herself from being crushed and ground into a bloody pulp by an ancient human temple's moving wall. That was a sentence. When I suddenly heard the doorbell ring. Another dragon. Hi. Hello there. Would you please hello there. Would you please sign here? I'm not signing away my rights with this, am I? I've got a letter for you that requires signature confirmation. I see. Looking over the clipboard the small dragon was holding up to me, I saw that the sender of the letter in question was Reza. There you go. I'm Lorem, by the way. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions? What is this about? I'm just making small talk. Wait a minute. I recognize you. You tried to do the same thing with Reza. Maybe I should report you to the superiors for your inappropriate behavior toward your clients. Alright. Well, thanks for stopping by, Seal. Good seeing you. Or talking. Cat. Thank you for stopping by. But it's important. Please, let me talk to Reich for a few minutes. You know how it is. If you want an interview with one of the humans, you'll have to get permission from the proper authorities. Well, luckily you are maybe a proper authority, I don't know. Help me out here, Reich. As an ambassador, you care about the accurate portrayal of humans in the media, don't you? Then you should talk to me. Otherwise, someone else will fill in the blanks, and who knows what they will come up with. Yeah, that's pretty accurate with our media, actually. Let me show you something. The small dragon opened his bag, rummaging through a number of letters and small packages. Huh, I think I lost it. Oh, that's a good start. Anyway, I wanted to show you some pictures of what people think humans look like. On some of them, they have like 4 heads and look nothing like you. It's crazy. What are you, Lauren? A reporter? Thanks for stopping by, Zach. No, I'm just... Do you want me to remove him, Reich? Oh, so that is a guy. Is what he is saying true? Yeah, I guess. I see. That sounds pretty interesting, though. Alright, you can leave your number here, and maybe I'll call you later, but that's all I can promise. Thank you so much. He quickly produced a small sheet of paper and scribbled his number on it. Afterwards, he sheepishly presented it with both hands. Alright, you got what you wanted. Off you go now. Oh, that kinda hurt. Sorry about that. Don't worry about it. I guess that should be all. I'll see you tomorrow then. Right. I'll see you tomorrow. Right. Yeah. Very polite of me. For all the commotion, I almost forgot that I was also still holding Reza's letter. Within the plain envelope was a similarly plain sheet of paper with his handwriting. When I started reading, however, I saw that his wording was so full of the pleasantries I knew he hated that I assumed every word of it was fake. as to conceal its true intent. He did mention I'd know what to do, but I was unsure of how I was supposed to decode the letter's secret message. I didn't remember ever having a conversation about this topic with him, yet he still relied on me to remember whatever it was that I was missing. Or he thought I would just be able to figure it out on my own. This is what it said. Hello, my dear friend. I hope this letter reached you swiftly and in good condition. Unfortunately, we were not able to catch up earlier, so I wanted to write you this letter. How have you been these last few years? What have you been doing? How's the family? I feel like there is so much we should talk about, since we have not seen each other much recently. At least we can have a chance to do so in this form. Quite an exciting venture we are on now, right? How have you liked it here so far? Made any dragon friends yet? Haha. Anyways, I will be looking forward to your reply soon. Best regards, Reza. Let's see. Can I decode it here? Nope. Can't figure it out. Various things came to mind. Only reading certain words or letters was one that I thought of immediately. But I couldn't make out anything after trying to find a system within its array of letters and lines. Maybe I had to look more carefully. Theo, if you're still here, I don't know which one to pick. Help. I don't know its meaning. Read between the lines, or look elsewhere for hints. Theo. Or maybe he referred to the fact that we were both given an apartment. Considering the things they provided for us, maybe I just had to find the right object to decode the message. There were many everyday items here, though, and of course I still had no idea what in particular I was looking for. I'm gonna guess... bookshelf? The bookshelf was stocked with quite a variety of books on different topics. Maybe Reza left me another message here at some point. He could have known that I was going to live here, so I suppose it is possible that he helped with the preparations and did something for me to find. No, even after removing every single book from the shelf, there is still no indicator of anything that would help me decode his secret message. But even if Reza did leave a hint, this could have been anywhere in the apartment and not just on the bookshelf. Yeah, let's look at the books. Maybe it has something to do with the books. The shelf is full of them, but I suppose the hints could be hidden inside one of them. Okay. Draconic Desire. Ooh. Careful with that one. Assault of the Humanoids from Outer Space. Born to Serve. Price and Prayer. The Ixamen Sphere and how to use it. Let's do Assault of the Humanoids from Outer Space. Oh, okay. We're actually going to read it. I'm not going to read all that. If I have to figure out a puzzle, I'm going to struggle with this. I'm not good with that. War. Really? An invasion by human aliens? Is that what they think we're all like? Going against my better judgment on this one. Like a wrecking. Oh, I came in like a wrecking. God. Okay, that was. Who let this mess ever get to print? Sheesh. It's definitely better than some of the books my wife reads. Avdon the 7th. Price and Rare. So it's supposed to be like Pride and Prejudice, or... Never read it, but I don't think it was like this. I'm gonna say there's... Knowing my luck, there is something in these books that I'm missing, but... I don't know, because I'm not going to read all this. The Ixamen sphere, is this like a Dyson sphere? Oh, God, I hope not. I read a bunch of books. Oh, hey, got an award for that. Let's go to the bathroom. Not go to the bathroom. Let's go into the bathroom. Anyways. Savage cabinets. No razors. Can't imagine why. Haven't seen any dragons with hair yet. Some pain meds, though. Take some as in putting them in my pocket and save them for later, or take some right now? Oh. Take them as in... Oh, okay. Okay, nope. Not doing that again. I'm not a druggie. Ha, no shampoo to be found anywhere, of course. And no hint either, just some body wash. Okay, done taking drugs. Fridge. Plenty of stuff in here. Meat. Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Don't waste an egg. I just wasted. Can I just keep cracking in it? Oh, please tell me this. Oh, I wasted all my eggs. Okay, that's funny. With some sort of white liquid inside. Salty. Yes, drink a mysterious liquid. That's... Oh, I'm gonna regret that, aren't I? Okay. on the floor and then step on it. What would happen? I'd be going on a date. But no, there's no hint there. Good dad joke, though. What a nice picture. I like this. This is funny. So, Daddy Gray finds his kid crying and asks, "What's wrong, kid?" But through all the tears, the kid couldn't get a single word out. Eventually, Daddy had enough, so he said, "Stop what? No, I won't say it. It wasn't a good joke anyway. Stop whining, God." You learned a lot about fruits. Lemon juice is about the simplest way to write a hidden message using a household item. Learned about that in chemistry. The most boring detail, of course. A message written in lemon juice on paper becomes just about invisible to the naked eye when dried, but after heating it gently, that's from National Treasure. Looks like my son's waking up. I'll have to go get him in a minute. I was sitting next to him in class when we learned that. He made a joke about using the method to cheat on the next test, and I replied by saying he'd have to bring an iron. Had he really expected me to remember a random chemistry class that happened years ago? But then, I did remember it after all. "Meet me at the portal tonight, 10 p.m., was all the message said. I wasted a good amount of time, but I still had some time left before I'd have to go out to meet Reza, so I decided to make some lunch. Could have made some scrambled eggs if I hadn't broken them all earlier." Yeah, whoops. Afterwards, I resumed reading my book about the continuing adventures of Sheridan and her exploits in destroying cultural artifacts. Unsurprisingly, I came to a happy end, with the evil organization stopped in its tracks, at least for now. I thought the ending was deliberately left open for ambiguity, but when I turned the page and saw the advertisement for the next entry in this apparently long-running series of books, I realized all this had just been Luckily, the disappointment didn't last long, as I had to get going to meet Reza at the portal. Alright, gonna see what Reza wants and then gotta hop off. I got outside. It didn't seem quite as dark as it was when I arrived yesterday. I might have had difficulties finding my way otherwise, but I could still see the portal in the distance. As I was walking, I wondered if anyone was following me, but the land seemed oddly deserted. Was everyone already asleep? Eventually I arrived at my destination. Reza was already standing idly by the portal, his fidgeting making it obvious that he had waited just for me. I was already wondering whether you'd get it at all. Well, you didn't make it easy. What a wonderful night it is. That's weird. Just look up at the stars. You can see them so clearly here, without all the pollution lingering in the air like back home. Almost as if we were looking right into the face of eternity itself. For so long, humanity thought we'd find aliens out there. Yet after all these years, we found we were still alone in the universe. Turns out we were just not looking in the right place. What's going on, Reza? Why did you call me here at this time? For one, because we're sending the generator home. Right, before I was sent here, they told me they would limit the use of the portal as they couldn't afford to keep it open all the time. In order to keep in contact with us and to enable us to send things over to them, the portal would be open for just a quarter of an hour each day. Sending something back home wasn't really problematic for us, since the high energy expenditure associated with sending bigger objects only affected the sender, not the receiver. However, this also meant that until all business was concluded in regards to our trade with the PDAs and the generators, we were basically stuck here. As for the other, do you know what this place is? You said something about trouble. How much danger are we in, really? More than enough. I'm afraid this whole place will be gone soon, and we better not be here when it happens. Okay, is it Krypton? Is it going to blow up? What the hell? What are you talking about? I hoped you'd see it too, but then it took me a while to understand, and I had a head start on you. In any case, while he was speaking, my gaze wandered and fixed on some movement nearby. It was hard to make out anything, but I imagined it might just have been wind blowing through the nearby shrubbery, except for the fact that there was no wind. Reza, this might take a while to explain, but we've got the whole night. Reza, look. He turned around to face whatever I was seeing. He squinted hard before he called out, "You! How dare you follow me even here?" The disturbance came closer until it became clear that it was Maverick, who had hidden nearby to listen in on our conversation. "I knew you were up to no good. What were you talking about? What are you planning here? Some kind of attack?" "Wait a minute. There's no reason for..." "Don't try to deny it. I heard you both talking about it in the cafe, and I saw the letter. You think I couldn't smell the lemon on it? Pathetic. You'll have to come with me to the police station now, both of you." "Come on. I think..." "Oh! Ah. Reza, what are you doing? Jesus! Come on, Reich, let's get out of here." "Yeah, In the dragon's side, I could see the wound where the bullet had penetrated his hide, a trickle of blood staining his dark scales and the earth beneath. Reza used the opportunity to run off in some direction. I wasn't sure which. I frantically scanned my surroundings looking for Reza, though he had already vanished into the darkness. What was I supposed to do? Run away as well? Help Maverick? I was just a diplomat and I had no idea what was happening. This is... Jesus! Suddenly, the dragon whipped around, hitting me in the guts with his thick tail. Ooh, that had to hurt. I was lifted off the ground briefly before I felt the impact of my body hitting the ground. Hard enough that my vision blurred almost immediately. A deafening roar battered my ears. Was this his cry for help? I could barely move, but I found it better not to try, as to not startle the wounded dragon more than he already was. It certainly would have ended badly for me if he had tried anything. I heard him take a few unsure steps before he lay down on the ground, panting. "I'm still watching you, you know, and you better not move for your own good." "I don't think I can. You might have broken something." "If I have to get up again and come after you in this condition, I can promise you I won't be nice." Yeah, because hitting me in the stomach with your tail was very nice. It took a few minutes of listening to his labored breathing before someone arrived. It was 2 dragons. The first I recognized as Sebastian, the other one I didn't know. I heard Sebastian and Maverick exchange a few words when the stocky fellow approached me. "Oh, hi." "Hey, kid, you alright?" "Still feeling a little dizzy." "I'm Bryce, the chief of police in this town. Can you tell me what happened?" To be honest. "Is that so?" Son of a... His face was stern and seemingly lost in thought as I overheard Sebastian's conversation. "Yeah, but you're the flyer on duty. We probably won't find him now. Not here in the darkness, at any rate." "Well, that's just brilliant. What do you think, Chief?" "Reich, can you walk?" "Yeah, I think so." "Alright, Sebastian, take Reich to the apartment. Get us some help here for Maverick, and then we'll look for Reza." "Right on. Come on, Reich, I'll help you up." I was still shaken up by the events I just witnessed when I arrived at my apartment. Not knowing anything better to do, I soon fell into a deep slumber. And that's where I'm going to call it quits for this time. I think this went pretty well. I had a few people watching, but it looks like... it looks like the stream was going well. Yeah, very interesting story. That took a... that turn was... Ooh, boy. That came out of nowhere. I mean, I figured Reza would be suspicious of the dragons and not trust them, but to just flat out shoot him. Jeez. Well, I'm still guessing Rez is the bad guy here. He's going to be the main villain or whatever. Interesting cast of dragons. Looking forward to getting to know them more. Yeah, I'll have to do this again. Maybe next week. We'll see. Well, for those of you that stopped by, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're watching this after the fact, if you want to join us again, if you want to join us for next time, I'll try to keep posting when I'll go on when I'll do live streams. Might have the next one be a online game just to see if see how it works. If my computer is good for that, if my internet's good enough for that. Might be Helldivers 2, might be Halo. I'll think of it and give it a try. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. We shall see. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one.